Hi, I'm Bob from MotorcycleVermont.com. Today is April 3rd. There's a pandemic outside, and it's 35 degrees. Snow in the mountains yesterday, and today we're going to be installing Oxford heated grips on my 2014 Triumph Tiger 800. So the process of installing the grips goes like this. First, you want to figure out your wire routing. Then you want to test your electrical connections, make sure your electrical stuff all works properly. Then you want to modify the throttle tube so that the grips will fit over the throttle tube. And then you're going to dry fit the grips and then finalize the wiring and the fit. To get started, you'll want to remove the plastics. Now, you really don't need to remove them on both sides. You just need to remove them down the left side. You don't need to lift the tank up either. You can run the wire just down the side of the frame and underneath the tank. Now the grips are wired directly to the battery. They have two connectors that just go directly to the battery. You don't need to do any splicing or find a hot lead or anything like that. Just really simple, just goes right to the battery. You'll need to find a place to mount the controller, and the controller, in my case, I was just able to just take one of the bolts that holds on the left side mirror and use that to hold the nice bracket that they give you as part of the kit. One of the things I like about these grips is that the wiring is very simple. There's no cutting, no splicing, no soldering. All you need to do is push the connectors together, and then there's a very positive screw type connector that you just screw on, and it's got a little gasket in there to keep the water out, and makes for a really good tight connection that you don't have to worry about. In Triumph's typical style, things are a little bit different. You've got two black connectors at the battery, which unless you are doing this during the summertime when you have your battery connected, you'll have to remember which one's positive and which one's negative. And it's not necessarily obvious which one's which, so you may have to kind of scratch your head a little bit about that one. So once you've kind of got the routing done, you want to connect it to your battery and turn it on, make sure that everything is in fact working. The grips themselves should come on and feel warm as you cycle through the power stages. Cycling through the power stages is really simple. You just gotta hit the plus button to make it go up and hit the minus button to make it go down. And when you get to the bottom, you hit the minus one more time and they go off. The Oxford grips have this great feature where if you forget to turn them off, which undoubtedly I will, it has a little light that comes on and flashes that tells you that it's going into battery saver mode, and then it just goes off, which keeps the grips from killing your battery. Now the throttle side on the Triumph has some raised plastic ridges that fit into the grooves on the grips, and you're going to need to take those off and actually kind of make the entire throttle tube a little bit narrower so that the Oxford grips will slide over them. To do that, you're going to use either a Dremel tool, or if you don't have a Dremel tool, then you can do what I did, which is to take a 60 grit flap wheel, which is basically a wheel of sandpaper that you can put on your drill and sand those off. To help that along, kind of what I did is I took a utility knife and cut off the ridges, and then took a shaping file and got those down quicker so they were at least the same level as the rest of the tube, and then I was able to come in with the flap wheel and take off the rest of the high spots. When you're doing this, you want to be careful that you keep your throttle tube round. The left and right grips are actually different sizes so that the right hand grip can slide over the throttle tube. And you're going to want to dry fit this before you try to go in there with your super glue. Kind of using a twisting motion, twist and push, and you'll get it on. So when you're dry fitting, you want to make sure that you can get the wire coming off the bottom, so that when you twist the throttle, you don't have any interference from the wire, that you can go all the way to full throttle and that it snaps back smoothly. You want to make sure also that the grip does not extend beyond the length of the throttle grip, and that everything still works as it should. Now in the Oxford kit they include their Oxford super glue, which I'm assuming this is just like regular grip glue, and you're going to want to spread it along the top, and it's going to take 24 hours for this glue to dry, so you don't want to do this whole project on a day when you want to go out for a ride that day. I just spread the glue along the top because you're going to twist and push as you push the thing on, and that's going to spread the glue around. So when you finish getting the grip pushed on all the way, you want to make sure that throttle still works properly, that none of the glue has gotten off into the plastic and kind of glued your throttle open or closed. Make sure it turns freely. And even the process of doing this can help free up something if it actually gets in there and gets stuck a little bit. But mainly, you just want to make sure that your throttle snaps back closed. So there you have it, how to install Oxford heated grips on a 2014 Triumph Tiger XC. Man, I can't wait till it stops raining.